Vic, I know a number of professional poker players who will talk about how they in order to be a winning poker player, they have to care more about their process than they do about the outcome of any given hand. And it sounds like when you talked about caring about managing your portfolio as opposed to a single position, that something similar applies there, right? If your process is good, then even if you lose on a given day, you can expect to do well in the long term. Is that
absolutely? Yeah? I think there are sometimes markets that are very one way, that no matter what, even if you take a small loss, it's better to take a small loss than to hold that position, keep getting smushed, and just get blown up. There are days that I have the right position, but as a market maker, my job is to be on during the market hours. The position gets taken away from me. Customers want the risk that you have, and in those times, I sometimes will take a small loss to get my position back, knowing that the overall position that I have is the winning trade, not so much the couple pennies that I just lost on those individual trades.
So it sounds like the enemy of success in your job is passion, right? Is emotion. And you've been doing this for a while. How long did it take you to reach a point where you weren't driven to make decisions based on fear and greed? Or is that still the case?
No, I don't have fear or greed when I trade. I have my goal, my daily profit goals. Usually when I get to my goal, or if I really well surpass it, I kind of do like, okay, let me just lock this in and just chill the rest of the day, kind of make myself where I'm not a player, I'm not involved in the market. Unless I have, like sometimes you get bored and you kind of say, okay,
doing stuff
what customers are doing, and you try to position yourself. But for the most part, I think it's just, it's more about walking in the morning. You have an opinion by the time you sit down at your chair. And I guess what you care more about is, was I right or was I wrong, in my opinion? And sometimes you become so stubborn when you see that, hey, I was wrong, and you still try to play that position. Sometimes realizing that, hey, you're wrong, and just flipping your position is probably the right answer. And that's probably the struggle that I sometimes have.
There's a lot of crypto traders out here on Volley, and over the last couple of months, we've seen a little bit of volatility in that market. And I have to say that many of my neighbors have had some difficulty displaying that certain level of zen that you're describing. I mean, how do you when the market really heats up, how do you maintain a level of dispassion?
I think that's part of the. I think the product is unique to you're either made for the product or not. I think in this case, like if you are too emotional and you can't handle it, it's probably not the product for you.
Are CDSs are they particularly volatile, or just more so say than other asset classes, or?
I think that they're active. I wouldn't say that they're volatile. Obviously, if there's news in a sector, that's going to move the CDSs in that sector. As you know, energy has always been a very topical sector. The index, major macro news, that's something that's active. When President Trump took office and Twitter became a thing, I actually had to download Twitter because every time he tweeted, it affected the market.
The market moved.
Yeah. That was something that I was not accustomed to.
Yeah.
And my during that time, my fear was, what tweet am I going to miss? Like I had to figure out how to allocate my phone right there where I could always see only Trump tweets. It was just like, what's he saying that's going to move this market that I need to worry about?
Man had a lot of followers.
Now that he's no longer in office, I no longer have Twitter, and I'm a much calmer trader. Now things are a little more as expected.